So we knew about the brain aneurysm for almost a year. We chose to fix it, and the procedure that was supposed to help her almost took her life. I need to be very careful when I say this.
Hey, baby girl.
It's Chloe
Chloe.
with the fro.
Hey, Chloe.
Hey, sweetie pea. It's Chloe
Chloe with the fro.
with the fro.
Chloe.
Oh snap, is that close?
It's Chloe.
So, quick recap. My name's Chloe. I'm a new caregiver for my mom who had a brain aneurysm that ruptured and she suffered a brain bleed. Technically two. We'll get to that. And now I am in this new phase of being her caregiver, and I say she's being a carrie, which is new for her. I love my mother. It is an honor to take care of her, and we're just kind of getting into the story of how we kind of got to the hospital in the first place, and the decision that made the decision that changed everything. So I go with my mom to take a better look, an angiogram, I believe it's called, of the aneurysm. And after he comes back out, the doctors explain to us, you know, what the risks are of either leaving it or doing something about it. And we were presented with a procedure. It's a stenting and coiling of the aneurysm, which was said to be something very common that they do for this type of aneurysm. And, to long story short, it's like, here are your options. You can either wait, do nothing, and one day this aneurysm might just rupture on its own, which can be fatal. She had a 30% chance of dying, I believe he had said. Or you can do this procedure, which comes with a 1 to 2% complication rate. Very low, right? I don't know about y'all, but anybody else would be like, let's do that thing. Cause if you're telling me the other option is wait around for her to just bleed out in her head randomly one day, absolutely not. Let's do the procedure. And I was rah, yes, like let's yeah, mama, yeah, we're doing that. And you're not catching me crying on camera. Cut. Obviously, we chose to do the procedure, and this is the part where I want to be careful and clear with the way I'm saying things, but it has to be made known that, like, you know, this didn't just rupture one day. I brought my mom in for what was supposed to be procedure to stop that from happening randomly one day in the future. And during the procedure, one of the coils that they were putting in, it broke the aneurysm wall and then it ruptured. So this was a intraoperative complication. I never imagined making that decision that would land us to where we are now. And so I'm trying to be like, you're smarter than that. You can't sit here and be like, it's all my fault. I did this, even though those are feelings that I have to wrestle with. I was the one that was the loudest pushing for this. And while I was in the hospital, I used to sit there looking at my mom and just be like, gosh, I hope she can forgive me. I can't even begin to like deeply explain how I felt, how my family has felt with knowing that information, knowing that you sent your loved one in for something that was supposed to help them and it ended up almost taking her life. That's a lot for anyone to bear. Um, and everyone in the family has to deal with that in a different way. And I know that's heavy. It's hard for me to sit with those feelings sometimes. Um, the feeling of I was the one that pressed her the hardest to do this, but I know that it was a decision that I made with love, with love from my mother, with love of I don't want her to just be sitting at the dining room table one day and she has an aneurysm rupture and we're at home and or she's at home and we have to rush her to the hospital and she almost die that way. Never in my wildest dreams would I've thought to send her to a procedure that had a low complication rate. Would she end up going through the same thing anyway? Like, it makes me sad and then it pisses me off that it doesn't even matter. The why never matters. Why? It doesn't. The why doesn't matter, but it just, that's the only question that you can ask is just why? And I can later joke about it, when we're deep in the hospital, because I had to laugh to keep from crying all those days we spent in the neuro ICU. I used to look at him and be like, you just had to be the 1%, huh? Hmm. You just had to be special, sis. Yeah. I was like, if you just wanted me to move down here, you didn't have to do all this. now, then I had to laugh about it. But I was just like, girl, you of all people, you just had to fall into this small percent chance of this to happen. And then I'm sitting there like, why did I tell you to do this? And I've learned to not let that eat me up, you know. I learned to not dwell on that because what good was it gonna do me, especially when I was in the hospital. There was too much going on for me to be sitting here like why? Like ain't nobody got time for that. Like I have to be on top of these doctors right now. I had one little moment where I like just broke down. And it was like in the first like 1 2 weeks of the hospital. But after that I had to rally and get it together. Because I was like, we don't got time for tears right now. We have to lock in it because mom needs me. How do you deal with a decision that led to so much grief? I know there's a lot of people out there who had to be the one, who had to make a decision that didn't turn out the way you planned, especially for someone else. Uh, And if that's you, you are definitely in the right place. I hope you drop a comment down below about how you're dealing with your decision grief, and we can support each other in this journey.
January 14th. And we've been in this hospital for a couple days, and it'll be a whole week tomorrow that our lives just so drastically changed. Today, you had a couple of extra complications. You decided to get a blood clot in your leg, even though you've been on some blood thinners. And so I had to make a decision on what to do with that. The miracles that are working through you, and I'm just trying to record a little bit as I go. I've been taking more notes for the doctor's notes, but Mama, I've been trying to hold it down because I need this. I need a miracle. Everybody needs this miracle, but I can't wait to spend a beautiful life with you. And we're gonna have to work hard to get you back. But I'm ready. I'm right here by your side. You let them people tell it. I was not trying to leave my mama at all, but you're getting some rest right now, girl, and I just we're gonna have to scream this testimony from the mountaintops, okay? Because it's gonna be a big one. Anyway, I love you.